Hello all and welcome back to the Pipe Cottage. Bulk blends are among my favorite to store. You can buy them by the pound. I usually buy about 2 pounds at a time, especially if I really like it. That way I can get a couple of larger mason jars and cellar it for a good long while. So I want to give you 5 recommendations for bulk tobacco blends that cellar well, smoke well, and there's a lot of different options on here. There's not really an aromatic blend on the table because aromatics usually don't cellar very well at all. The first one I want to tell you about is Holiday Mixture by Sutliff. I didn't know anything about this blend until the venerable George Bruno, the Sultan of Silver, mentioned this on one of his videos. Some people may not like George Bruno, but I do. I think he's got some of the most entertaining content when it comes to pipe smoking. And he's just an interesting man to talk to. But he has exposed me to Holiday Mixture. And I think he's right to be saying that this is now his favorite pipe tobacco. I think that's still the case. I don't know. But you can get it online for probably $45, $50 a pound. I bought a couple pounds of it and have it cellared. Now, what is it? It's Black Cavendish, Burley, Latakia, Perique, Virginia leaf, possibly red. I don't know for sure if it's red or bright Virginia, but I tend to think it's probably red because there's a definite Virginia sweetness going on in this blend. I was at the Ohio Pipe Show. Oh, when was it? Last year, I guess I went to it. Anyway, last year, the year before last. And I had Holiday Mixture, enjoying it there. And several people in the smoking tent wanted to know what I was enjoying. They enjoyed the smell of it. And I told them it's Holiday Mixture from Sutliff. I can't think of one person who I talked to who had ever heard of it. So it's worth your try. You don't have to buy a pound or 2 of any of this at one time. You can get an ounce or 2 and sample it. And that's what I usually do if I want to sample something that I've not had before. I'll just order an ounce or 2 of it. And you can usually do that on the large websites, smokingpipes.com, Pipes and Cigars. Even the smaller pipe shops will sell you an ounce or 2 so you can try some house blends. So Holiday Mixture is number 1. I really, really love it. It's got some cube cut burley in it. It's not all ribbon cut. It's got lots of different little pieces of tobacco. It almost looks like the leftovers from a collection of different blends, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how it's made. I just know I like it. Number 2, Balkan Supreme by the Arango Cigar Company. Balkan Supreme by the Arango Cigar Company. This is good. It's full English. I've heard some people compare it to Balkan Sobrani. I don't really enjoy Balkan Sobrani, but I like this. Balkan Sobrani's got more of a shag cut to it. I have never really enjoyed it. Actually, I think I've given away the tins of Balkan Sobrani that I had. I may have 1 or 2 left. And actually, I'm thinking about doing an Instagram giveaway. We're approaching the 3rd year anniversary of the Pipe Cottage. And I'm just in the mood to do a giveaway. I've got Balkan Sobrani I'll probably include in that. I've got pipes that were never sold that I bought back when the Pipe Cottage operated an online store. And so I've got pipes still in bags that they came from the factory, and I've never used them. And I probably never will, because they're multiples of pipes that I already have in my collection. I don't need those pipes, and so I need to give them away. So look out for that. Look out for an Instagram giveaway within, probably this week. Just a little hint there for you. Balkan Supreme. Golly, I can't talk today. Balkan Supreme. It's got Virginia, Latakia, Orientals, and Black Cavendish. Oh, it's good. It's got that deep, rich Latakia flavor to it. I like it. You might as well. I didn't know about this until I was visiting the Briary probably 3 years ago. And they whooped out a bag of this from back in their cellar. And whoo, it smells so good. And I had me a bowl of it. And now it's in my cellar. I keep it around. Number 3, Old Joe Krantz by Cornell and Deal. Now, I'm not the biggest Cornell and Deal fan in the world. I've reached a point where a lot of their blends start tasting pretty much the same. But they do have a handful of very select, very good tobaccos that I always keep in my cellar. And one of them is Old Joe Krantz. You can get it in a tin or you can buy it in bulk. And when you're going to cellar tobacco, I usually recommend people buy in bulk if possible. The reason is most tobaccos cellar best in a mason jar, better than they will in tins. But unless the tin is open, I usually just leave it in the tin. And unless it's going to be some of the tins that Sutliff produces. Sutliff has a sort of a cardboard material that they use on some of their tins. What's coming to mind is the Seattle Pipe Club blends that Sutliff packages. They blend and package it. Those are not sealed for, not nearly as much as, I just don't like the idea of a cardboard substance on the outside of the tin. So I usually take those and put them in mason jars immediately. But it's a little bit cheaper, in my opinion, if you can buy blends in bulk. So Old Joe Krantz. It's Burley, Red Virginia, and Perique. I've gone on record for saying I don't like Haunted Bookshop, but I like this. I like this. The two good Burley blends that I enjoy from Cornell and Deal is Pegasus and Old Joe Krantz. I don't know if Pegasus can be ordered in bulk or not, but I know that Old Joe Krantz can. And I think it's a little more full-bodied in flavor than Pegasus. But it's wonderful. Actually, I was thinking I may give Haunted Bookshop another try. I haven't tried it in 2 years. And I should take my own advice. I've told people before that your palate changes. If you have a blend that you don't enjoy now, don't throw it away. Just keep it and cellar it. And maybe later on you will come back to it and find that it's more pleasing to you. So I may try Haunted Bookshop one more time, and I might do it when I get done with this video. Old Joe Krantz. All right, number 4, Colonial Pastime from Mylan's Tobacconist in Roanoke, Virginia. They've got a couple of very nice Frog Morton-esque blends that they blend in-house. And Colonial Pastime, I think, is one of their best sellers, and for good reason it does. It's probably the closest thing to an aromatic that I have on this list. Mylan's Tobacconist, they've got a website. You can order this online. I think they sell this for like $50 a pound, which is a pretty good price. It's made up of Burley, Virginia, Black Cavendish, and Latakia. Now, the original Frog Morton, I don't know what kind of happy juice they put in that to make it taste so good, but there is some kind of topping on Colonial Pastime that gives it, as I say, a Frog Morton-esque substance. It's not the same, but it's similar. It reminds one of Frog Morton. So Colonial Pastime from Mylan's, you can buy it in bulk. I have it cellared in whatever topping they have on it. It tends to cellar well over time. As it goes, some blends that lend themselves more towards the aromatic side of things, they don't cellar very well. I mean, I tried to cellar some 1Q. I actually had a bowl of 1Q the other day that I've cellared. It's been in the cellar for like 3 or 4 years now. It's still 1Q, but I think 1Q is better fresh, and most aromatics are probably better fresh. But Colonial Pastime, it sellers well. The 5th, you've got to have a straight Virginia if you're going to create a list of bulk tobaccos to cellar. Now, I say this is bulk, but this is the 150th anniversary Virginia blend from L.J. Peretti in Boston, Massachusetts. Got to put a Yankee blend on there. That's one pipe shop that I probably will never visit in person, because I just can't see myself wanting to go to Boston, Massachusetts for anything. Now, I know people like that part of the world, but I just really don't know what it would take to persuade me to go to Boston. It would have to be something bigger than a pipe shop. But I love this blend. It is straight Virginia, and according to their website, some of this leaf comes from a 2010 Virginia crop. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know if they've got a lot of that particular crop year in-house, where they store it. I don't know. But what I do know is this is a good flake, a straight Virginia flake that you can buy by the pound. And they put their tobacco in those paint cans. It's beautiful. They put their tobacco in paint cans, which I think is an excellent little treat. I think that's a unique way of storing tobacco. I don't know how well those tins hold up over time. So usually what I do is I remove the tobacco from the tin. I keep the tins, however, because I just love the way they look, and just use them to store various and other things around the house with. But usually I'll take those blends that I get from Peretti out of those paint cans and put them in mason jars. And the 150th anniversary blend, this is probably the most expensive tobacco I have on the list today. A pound of this cost, well, as of today, June 2024, the blend is close to $90 for a pound. But I cannot imagine this not selling well. Most straight Virginias sell so well. Last night I enjoyed a bowl of McClellan Christmas cheer from probably 07, 08, somewhere along in there. So moving towards 20 years. And ooh, make your tongue slap your brains out. I put it in my favorite pipe that I use for red Virginias, and that's a Northern Briars Billiard that I bought from the Briary in Birmingham, Alabama. Just bought 2 more Northern Briars from my recent visit to the Briary. It's kind of a tradition now. Every time I walk into the Briary, I buy a Northern Briars pipe, because I just love them. I love the way they feel in hand. I need to do a video about Northern Briars pipes, actually. But this blend, it's reminiscent somewhat of the old, and here I am comparing to McClellan again, the old McClellan straight Virginias that they used to produce. And I would venture to assert that there is some kind of topping on this. The reviews that I've seen say that there's probably some type of wine topping on the 150th anniversary blend, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I've not called them, and I've not asked, but I can see where that red wine flavor might be coming from. It could be from the fermentation of the Virginia leaf itself. Either way, if you want to sell her some straight red Virginia flake, I don't think you can do much better than the 150th anniversary straight Virginia from LG Peretti in Boston. So that's it. Just short and sweet, 5 different blends I wanted to share with you that I personally have in my cellar that I buy in bulk. Buying in bulk is good a lot of times because it's cheaper. Now, there are several other bulk blends out there that you can buy. I want to hear from you. What type of bulk blends would you recommend to people who are wanting to build a cellar? Because I really think that's the easiest way to build a cellar, is to buy in bulk. Now, enough on that. I got some news and updates for people. I want to briefly mention the new Pipe Cottage weekend that's coming up in October 4th through 6th. For people who simply want to buy a single ticket or a double ticket if you want to bring your wife. But we have a VIP package. I think we've only got 1 spot left for that, and that's an extra night. October 3rd through 6th is for the VIP package. So if you're interested in joining me in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee for the Pipe Cottage weekend, we've already booked the resort. I've booked like an entire resort. We're going to have Richard, who manages the Gatlin Burley. He's going to be coming and giving a talk for us. Got a couple other people lined up to give some seminars. It's going to be a wonderful celebration weekend. A about pipe smoking, and we're also going to be celebrating the 3-year anniversary of the Pipe Cottage. So go to our website. I'll leave a link below, and if you want to join us for that, we still have some spots available. I want to also tell people about Pipe Cottage Social. This is where people can have a more intimate social media relationship with other people in the pipe smoking world. Pipe Cottage Social, wonderful, wonderful people on that app. Also, we've started a Substack. I made a video last week, I think, saying that we were probably going to shut down the website and move things to Substack. We're not going to do that. I can't shut the website down because many people who use Pipe Cottage Social access it through the website. And so I'm going to keep that up. But any new writing material that I produce, I'm going to put it on the new Pipe Cottage Journal, which is on Substack. Now, there is a paywall. There is a paywall. And a couple of people have complained about the paywall, but I have no interest in writing without getting some type of remuneration from it. And when you create a paywall, that cuts out people who are not interested in the first place. People who pay attention. I've learned that over the past 3 years. People who pay attention. Another little thing that I have created on the Substack channel, you have the opportunity to do podcasts on the Substack. And so I have created what I call the Pipe Cottage Rant podcast. So many of you know I can get a temper at times, and buddy, I have opinions about a lot of stuff. And so I have moved my opinionated videos, for the most part, to the Pipe Cottage Rant podcast. That's also behind the paywall. So, because the audience that we have at the Pipe Cottage is so diverse, I want things here to be moving back in the direction of what the Pipe Cottage originally was, which is essentially talking about pipe smoking and pipe smoking culture. But I do have many other interests. We do have a second channel under my name where I talk about literature and history. But on the Pipe Cottage Rant podcast, I just sit down and I talk about various and sundry things that aggravate me because of stupid things that stupid people do. And so the first episode I put up was entitled "The Stupidity of Anti-Catholicism," and I enjoyed it. Oh, I have so much fun. I just sit down and talk. Maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm done. So if that's interesting to you, then check it out on Substack. I think I'm missing something. Oh, yeah. Another thing that I'm going to start doing with that new podcast, sometimes I get nasty comments on the Pipe Cottage channel. And rather than commenting on the YouTube channel, what I'm going to do is start taking the negative, nasty comments, and I'm going to comment to them on the Pipe Cottage Rant podcast. So it really needs to be behind a paywall, because it doesn't do any good to talk to people who don't like you in a YouTube comment section. It's the most useless form of communication that I can imagine, because usually it's an anonymous person who you don't know, and so why do I need to respond to you? But I could have some fun responding in this new podcast form. So check it out. Pipe Cottage Weekend, Pipe Cottage Social, the new Pipe Cottage Journal, and the Rant Podcast. That's just wanted to put that out there. We got a lot of wonderful things going on with this brand now, and this is really what I'm concentrating on, more or less full time. So that's it. Get you some bulk tobacco blends. Oh, I had something else I wanted to do. I was going to read from a book, but I'll have to do that next time. I was going to read some information from this book. Oh, this is so wonderful. I love this book. I think I got it from Vermont Freehand. I think that's where I bought it. Anyway, I'll find out where I bought it. I don't have time to do all that I wanted to do with this book in this particular video, but I'm going to make another video later in the week, and then I think we'll dive into a review of this particular publication. I don't know if you can still get it or not. I imagine you can, but in the meantime, this is Alan Harrelson with the Pipe Cottage. Thank you for stopping by.